Welcome back, everyone. Don't adjust your sets. You are watching Conklin and Company right now, and we're watching the NASCAR Sprint Cup champion here, Brad Keselowski, going over the Mackinac Bridge as we talk with Roger Curtis, the president of Michigan International Speedway. This was a big event, not only for MIS, but for a Michigan native in the champion of the Sprint Car Series last year.
What's interesting, well, two things. One, I was in the car with him, so I was a passenger. So I told him,
I knew that.
No burnouts.
That, yeah.
Don't do any burnouts, Brad. There's no life preservers under your passenger seat. So he kept it out of the drink and did the speed limit, did 45, and we did well. But he's a Michigan native and a very proud, fiercely proud Michigander.
Rochester Hills? Huh?
Rochester Hills.
But he has an accent. How does that happen?
I don't know. It doesn't take long down in North Carolina.
Okay.
But he had never seen the bridge. So we were driving along as we were doing the drive across the bridge. I said, did you ever think that the first time you saw the bridge, you would be driving across it and in a race car, in your race car? So it was a big honor for him. We lit the Blue Bridge. First Michigander to win the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series championship. So appreciate all the folks up there that helped make that happen.
And we're only a couple of weeks removed from that particular event.
Yes.
Was that your idea, Roger? Let's go take this thing north. Let's celebrate NASCAR in the entire state of Michigan. I mean, tell us about the genesis of that idea.
The bridge idea itself came from Sammy Lukaskevich. She's our senior director of communications, and we knew last fall when it looked like Brad had a real good shot at winning the championship, being Michigan International Speedway, Michigan native. This is a rare moment. We wanted to celebrate it and do all that we could to really get Michigan rallied around Brad and really the whole region. And so she came up with that idea along with several others, and that was one that came to fruition. And we ended up going on to Mackinac Island that night, went to the Grand Hotel and had a really nice reception for him with a lot of influential people, so it was nice.
And we ran that on the news at 6 o'clock that particular night and thought, boy, what a great idea. And that's part of this goes to the person that you are, marketing from the start at Richmond Speedway, Watkins Glen. And then you come to MIS, but trying to grow the brand and the Speedway, expanding it to other areas aside from racing. So MIS is not just about 2 racing events a year, is it?
No, not anymore. It always had been for a very long time, really since 1968, since it was built. It was the 2 NASCAR races, and we had open wheel up through 2007. When I got there, I love this area. I'm from Indiana. I love the Midwest. I love the Toledo area. I love Michigan. I love the Irish Hills, Detroit. This whole region is very, very important to me. And seeing what was going on with the economy, not just ours at Michigan, but with everybody. And really, the team and I gathered together and said, what can we do? 2 things. One is to drive some additional economic impact, because our 2 races alone are about 320 million. To put that in perspective, that's the same. That's the equivalent of the Super Bowl. The regional impact.
320 million.
Yeah, on hotels, people staying, shopping, gas, food, beverages, restaurants, all that. 320 million, taxes, sales tax, all that. So it's the same as a Super Bowl. Wow. And we all know how often Detroit gets a Super Bowl. We're doing that on an annual basis, not once every 10 or 12 years. So we wanted to increase our economic impact, which we felt like would help jobs. And 2, though, we wanted to do stuff that had a quality of life component to it, because if we were going to try and work with businesses to retain, please stay in Toledo, please stay in Detroit, please stay in Southeast Michigan, we wanted to do things that added quality of life. Or if you were trying to attract a business to this region, hey, what could we say besides 2 races that we have to offer? And there are a lot of great things, but we wanted to do our little part. And so we started a wine and beer festival.
Earlier this spring, right?
Earlier this spring, it was the 4th annual, and it's going great. It's fantastic. We have a Tough Mudder, which is a kind of an extreme competition of endurance. It's 12-mile obstacle course. There's electrocution and mud, and I'm not doing it. But about 25,000 people are. It's the next big thing, or it is the big thing right now.
And go-karts too.
But we've had go-karts, we've had sports car, still in the racing genre, but we're really excited we added Faster Horses this year, which is a 3-day country music festival, kind of on par with Lollapalooza. And, where else?
And the biggest names in country music, Roger, are at this thing.
Huge. Jason Aldean, Dierks Bentley, Luke Bryan, on and on and on, about 100 different artists. And so that's the kind of quality of life that we wanted to add. And we're not done. There's a lot of other things we want to do. And then from a non-spectator, non-guest standpoint, what we wanted to do was open up our facility for automotive research and development. We're still in the heart of it. Even in the worst days a few years ago for the automobile industry, you know, like 90% of the R&D in the automotive industry happens right
Still
around
in Michigan.
here.
Yeah.
So here we have connected vehicles, autonomous vehicles is the future. And all these manufacturers are going to have to be able to talk to one another. But they needed a neutral playing ground which they could all go test this equipment, because no one was going to let all the other manufacturers on their proving grounds.
It's my turf. Stay away.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we're this neutral sandbox. Everyone can come play now, test their software, work with the software providers like Microsoft and Google and Hewlett-Packard and companies like that. And they can do their negative testing, which you and I call crashing, on our facility before they go out on the streets and are able to do the positive live testing. That's going to be huge moving forward.
Wow. So this is it's a much bigger picture than racing cars around that super speedway. All right. We're going to come back in just a minute, continue our conversation with Roger Curtis, president of MIS, also an innovator, a school board member, an ordained minister. Yeah, all of that when we come back.